Hello there, very good afternoon to you, good evening to you. I beg your pardon, you're watching Primetime News on News First. I'm Saturanga Hapuarachi. Before we head into the stories in detail, let's take a look at the headlines.
President and the Prime Minister say they will not take back the step they have taken forward. Speaker says until a new faction is capable of showing a majority in Parliament, he will accept the state of Parliament that existed before the change. Government faction complains that the Speaker is surpassing the Constitution. Trade unions of UMP take to the streets demanding that Parliament be convened. Hesha Vitanage and Palita Tevara Perumu, who were arrested for allegedly assaulting Ajit Prasanna, released on bail.
On those stories in detail now, the rally organised by the UPFA titled Ratama Rakina Janamahime was held at the Parliament roundabout today. The rally was held under the patronage of the President and the Prime Minister.
ආදරණීය නායකයින් දෙපළකගේ සම්ප්‍රාප්තිය මේ රට ගොඩනගන්නට ජනබල ශක්තිය රොදබදින මොහොතේ දෙවන්ත ජනපෞරක් නිර්මාණය වන මොහොතේ මුළු ලෝකයට
කරලා එකම රටක් තුල එකම අරමුණක් පෙරදරි කරගෙන අලුත් පරිච්ඡේදයක් නිර්මාණය කරන නායකින් දෙපළගේ ගෞරවනීය සම්ප්‍රාප්තිය අතිගරු ජනාධිපති මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන මැතිතුමන් ගරු අග්‍රාමාත්‍ය මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමන්ගේ ගෞරවනීය සම්ප්‍රාප්තිය අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමාට ගරු අග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමාට අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමාට මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන ජනාධිපතිතුමාට මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ අගමැතිතුමාට අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමාට ගරු අග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමාට.
Crowds gathered near the Parliament roundabout in support of the new government.
There is a question that is raised by the UNP supporters who took leadership to make me the president of the country. That same question was raised by my friend Speaker Karu Jayasuriya 4 days ago. That question was, did I not have anyone else to appoint as Prime Minister other than Mahinda Rajapaksa? I have to clearly state that when Karu Jayasuriya was speaking to me for 1 hour and asked me this question, I told him, Speaker, can you not remember that I provided that solution to you 8 months ago? After the no confidence motion against Ranil Wickremesinghe, I told the Speaker, the policies and the programs of Ranil Wickremesinghe are not suitable for me. I cannot work with him. Therefore, I asked him to take over the seat of the Prime Minister. After the 3rd day, he told me that he is ready to accept and asked whether he could meet me. I gave him an appointment at 5 on the next day. The person who informed me that he will be coming alone came to my official residence with the former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. He was stammering and he said that he cannot oppose the Prime Minister. I did not let go of my effort. 2 months ago, I kept the next step of my effort. I invited the deputy leader of the UNP to my house. For the last 2 months, I have been telling him, your leader is not suitable for me. That vision is not suitable for the country. I told him that I cannot work with him. I told him, Sajid, let us remove the Prime Minister. You take over the post of the Prime Minister. I brought him to my house many evenings and I asked him to take over the position of PM. I told him I will take care of the problems that arise. Sajid Premadasa, like what Karu said, told me that he cannot fight with the leader. I wanted to find a leader that is suitable for the country. I have not found a person who can fight with Ranil. I have found a person who can beat Ranil Wickremesinghe, and I have appointed Mahinda Rajapaksa as the Prime Minister. The Ranil Wickremesinghe economic and political vision burdened the innocent, helpless, poor people of this country. He forgot to solve the problems of the country. The decisions of the government were not taken by the cabinet. They were not taken by the President or the Prime Minister. The decisions were taken by Ranil Wickremesinghe and his so-called butterfly clan. Now he is bowing down before the embassies. Everything has been done legally and according to the constitution. I have to say this to the people who are raising allegations. If there is any legal question that needs solving, this is a country with an impartial judiciary. Anyone can go to the Supreme Court and inquire into this. We will make the Parliament strong. Do not be suspicious about the 113. The 113 are there. Irrelevant of the forces that will be or threats, I will not take back the foot that I have taken forward. This is a difficult task. If I was president, I will not do this. That is what I said. We came together for the country. The people of the country must remember when Ranil Wickremesinghe was trying to sell off the nation, when the right of the people of this nation, the land was being sold to foreign lands. We came together. We could not watch on. I went to the finance ministry after speaking with the president. When I was assuming duties, I checked whether the taxes can be reduced, whether the price of goods can be reduced, the price of oil be reduced. If I can do it, this could have been done by them as well. No, their hope was to live luxuriously, even if the people were suffering. We along with the president are committed to safeguard democracy. We will not let rumours break this bond.
Ranil
Wickremesinghe is a cancer that does not understand the culture of our country. He is a cancer that does not understand the history of the country or respect the identity of this country. The cancer that does not worry about the security of this land. The cancer that does not think about the national economy. The cancer that only knows to satisfy foreign nations. There is no future for this country if this cancer is not removed. The country cannot breathe if this cancer is not removed. There should be a specialist doctor for this surgery to be done. That surgery cannot be done by us. That cannot be done by you. There is only one specialist doctor who can do this surgery. There is only one person, and that person is President Maithripala Sirisena. On the 26th, the President removed this cancer called Ranil Wickremesinghe from our country. This cancer was removed in accordance with the Constitution. Karu Jayasuriya, the Speaker of Sirikota. The Speaker is saying that he will accept the situation that was before until the 113 is shown. Where is this mentioned in the Constitution?
Speaker of Parliament Karu Jayasuriya issuing a release today says he is compelled to accept the status that existed previously until such time that the new political alliance proved their majority in Parliament. In the statement, he says he is compelled to do so as the majority is of the opinion that all changes made in the Parliament are undemocratic and inconsistent with the traditions of Parliament, and as the majority of Parliament have requested that the status that existed before these changes were made shall be accepted.
The Speaker of Parliament issued a letter this morning explaining the current situation. I consider it my paramount duty to act in accordance with my conscience for the protection of rights and privileges of the majority of the members of Parliament, including the leader of the opposition of the Parliament, and the prevention of the destruction of democracy that we have safeguarded up to now. I am of the opinion that the request submitted to me under the hand of 116 members of Parliament of the United National Party, the Tamil National Alliance, the Janata Vimukti Peramuna and the Muslim Congress, stating that the decision by His Excellency the President was unconstitutional and undemocratic, and as they are not in agreement with the said decision, that the Parliament should be summoned forthwith and seek approval thereto is extremely reasonable. The Speaker in his letter says that when he met His Excellency the President on the 1st of November, he conveyed to me that he would pay attention to the request made by me to summon Parliament and would brief me on the evening of that day itself. Karu Jayasuriya in his letter says, quote, he contacted me over the phone the following day around 10:30 a.m. and informed me that the Gazette notification proclaiming the summoning of Parliament on the 7th of November would be issued during a meeting with the ambassadors of Japan, France and the USA and Afghanistan in the morning of the same day. His Excellency had reiterated that Parliament would be summoned on the 5th of November. It adds, quote, the Honourable Mahinda Rajapaksa too confirmed during a meeting with a group of university teachers that the Parliament would be summoned on the 5th of November. Speaker in his letter says, quote, if I am to follow the verbal assurance given by His Excellency the President, it is my duty as Speaker to summon Parliament by 7th November and restore stability in the country. I consider it as the duty of His Excellency the President too to extend his support to me towards this end. The letter reads, quote, it is difficult for me to remain silent in the face of severe violations of democratic principles, forcible taking over of administration of media institutions and other public sector institutions, disregarding the moderate employees and information to the effect that various perks and privileges are offered to members of Parliament, unquote. It further adds, quote, at a time it has been brought to my attention by the majority that the lawful summoning of Parliament has been prevented and the rights of members of Parliament have been usurped in the name of justice and fair play, I have to make my stance known to the world, unquote. The Speaker concludes by saying, quote, I wish to state that these events, which should not have occurred in a democratic society, is an unpleasant phenomenon that took place without the use of arms, unquote.
During a media briefing held in Colombo today, MPs of the ruling party expressed their views over the statement released by the Speaker.
Taking into account their requests, the convening of Parliament on the 14th has been gazetted. However, on the very same day, the Speaker made a politically biased statement which does not set a good example. We request him to respect the law and the Constitution. All decisions made by the Parliament comply with the Constitution. This can be challenged in High Courts by lodging a fundamental human rights petition.
කාට හරි ඒක අභියෝගයට ලක් කරන්න ඕන නම් ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨ අධිකරණයට ගිහිල්ලා ඒක අභියෝගයට ලක් කරන්න පුළුවන් මූලික අයිතිවාසිකම් පෙත්සමක් ගුණ
අපේ ජනරජ ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාව අනුව
Since inception of the constitution system in 1978, the power to appoint a prime minister and prorogue parliament has remained unchanged as discretionary powers to date. The 19th Amendment has not imposed any restrictions to those powers. The president will appoint a prime minister who he believes will claim a majority in parliament, and this has been the long-standing practice in Sri Lanka. However, the prime minister being appointed must accept the challenge of facing a no-confidence motion. Secondly, the defeat of an act. For example, if the Monetary Act is defeated, Parliament will be dissolved. A mechanism to count votes based on belief does not exist in our Parliament or any other Westminster-type Parliament. All that the opposition can do now is to show their strength by defeating the budget in Parliament. Under this political condition, if any conflict takes place, the Speaker must take full responsibility for it, because it is the Speaker's statement that has confused the people.
ඒ හේතුන් මත රටේ යම් අවාසනාවන්ත දෙයක් සිද්ධ වුණොත් ඒක වගකීම කතානායකතුමා බාරගත යුතුයි කියන එක තමයි අපිට කියන්න තියෙන්නේ.
Members of the United National Party expressed their views over the decision made by the Speaker.
වර්තමාන 19 වෙනි සංශෝධනයෙන් සම්මත වෙච්ච ව්‍යවස්ථාව අනුව හිතුමතේට
According to the 19th Amendment of the Constitution, the President cannot remove the Prime Minister according to his wish. Everyone is aware of this rule. This has been clarified by the Speaker and I accept his decision. The political situation which prevailed on the 26th of last month still continues. This means that the Prime Minister of this country is still Ranil Wickremesinghe. Those who held ministerial positions still remain as ministers of their respective portfolios. We are in control of the country. However, the Speaker's decision today will result in a drastic change to the country's political situation. We will not surrender. We will continue to fight for democracy. We have fought for 10 days and will continue even stronger. Since His Excellency is legally appointed President, there will be a division of power and we will control the country constitutionally.
අපිට ඇති බලයත් එතුමාට ඇති බලයත් වෙන් කරගෙන රට පාලනය කරනවා.
Attorney at Law Krishmal Varnasuriya spoke about the letter sent out by the Speaker of Parliament.
A government is made up in terms of our constitution under Article 42 under the constitution. Our executive power we give to a president, and it is that executive president who forms a government. And Article 42(1) is very clear as to how a government, it's a government that has control of the direction of the republic. Such a government is installed by installing a cabinet of ministers. Who picks this cabinet? Article 42, it's a president. The president appoints a prime minister, the president appoints the ministers, and it is His Excellency the President that has complete control over appointment and removal of prime minister and the ministers. We must remember, ours is not a Westminster-style cabinet and prime minister system of government. Ours is an executive presidential government where we have executive president who, for the purpose of forming a government, picks his cabinet. With the utmost respect to the Honourable Speaker, he has no authority or power in law to make such a decision. We have not given such a power to the Honourable Speaker to interpret the Constitution and figure out what is constitutional or not. It is only the Honourable Supreme Court of this country, in terms of Article 125(1), that has absolute authority.
Speaking on our Newsline program this morning, former diplomat Tamara Kunanayagam expressed the following views.
Whilst Parliament was prorogued, and then having opened an office there, or a room there, collected there, whilst Parliament is prorogued, it means nothing. It probably means trespassing. What did you think about that bit?
I agree with you. I personally think that the President, and both the President and the current Prime Minister, should take firmer action than they are taking now. And I would say that not only, and in this, for instance, in this case, I mean, the President, the people have vested their sovereignty in the President. So he has the right to take the decisions, and he has a duty, he has an obligation to ensure that his decisions are respected. And in the case of this special meeting in Temple Trees, in any other country, any self-respecting country, they would have expelled those envoys immediately. They would not let them be here. Now the problem is that we are We think that they are big, they are large, they're tall because we are on our knees. We have to get off our knees and demand respect from other countries. We are not a dominion. We are not a colonial. We are no longer a colony of Britain. And I think this has to be understood by all our politicians. And we have to stand up. We have to be proud to be Sri Lankan.
We have to rediscover our spine.
Exactly. Yeah. And our dignity.
And our dignity.
Raising a preliminary objection, the Attorney General today told Supreme Court that the court had no jurisdiction to inquire the fundamental rights petition filed against the Parliament prorogation proclamation of the President, as it was inconsistent with the Supreme Court rules. The fundamental rights petition was filed as a public interest litigation by Attorney Nagahananda Koditwaku, seeking an order against the Gazette proclamation which prorogued the parliamentary sessions.
Additional Solicitor General Indika Demuni De Silva, appearing on behalf of the Attorney General, presenting facts before court, said that it violates the rules of the Supreme Court to continue a case against an official task carried out by the President. Additional Solicitor General Indika Demuni De Silva said that the objections will be submitted to the SC in writing in the future. The Supreme Court ordered the petitioner to present a motion before court and obtain a date for the petition to be taken up.
Addressing a media briefing at Temple Trees today, Parliamentarian Dr. Rajitha Senaratne expressed the following views.
It is clear that the rally, which was at the Battaramulla junction, was successful. According to the data I received, more than 25 to 30,000 people joined the protest. There were 1,169 buses. That means a crowd of only 1/3 of our protest have come to Colombo. They had facilities and enjoyed privileges that we didn't get. I got information about buses that arrived from Hambantota. Only 8 to 10 people were there in every bus. This shows how bankrupt they are. I think the decision taken by Maithripala Sirisena shows how grateful he is for the support rendered by the United National Party to obtain power in 2015.
Minister Dinesh Gunawardena assumed duties as the new leader of the House in Parliament today. Amid religious blessings from the Mahasangha, the minister assumed duties at the office of the leader of the House in the parliamentary complex this afternoon. Minister Douglas Devananda and Parliamentarian Susil Premajayantha and others were present at the event. The Jatika Sevaka Sangame staged a protest opposite the Fort railway station in opposition to the new government today.
Trade unions affiliated to the United National Party joined the protest. Leaflets were also distributed during the protest. Representatives of the United National Front and civil society activists also took part.
We have been cornered from the global community today. Japan has slashed fundings that we were supposed to receive. The EU is threatening to withdraw GSP+. We built this reputation with a lot of hard work. The president, who said that the international community is now our friend, has come and brought in the man who was rejected by the world to the back door and made him sit in that seat. But the international community has already left.
The Janata Vimukti Peramuna and the Tamil National Alliance met today. TNA leader R. Sambandhan and MP M.S. Sumandiran attended the meeting, which was held at the opposition leader's office in Colombo. Leader of the JVP, Annakumar Disanayaka, Bimal Ratnayaka and K.D. Lalkantha were also present at this meeting. Following the meeting, representatives of both parties said an agreement was reached to defeat unconstitutional acts within Parliament. UMP parliamentarians Heshan Vithanage and Palitha Kumara Thevara Peruma were granted bail by the Colombo Magistrates Court today. The bail was granted after the MPs appeared before Fort Magistrate Ranga Disanayaka this evening.
UNP MPs Heshan Vithanage and Palitha Kumara Thevara Peruma were taken into custody this morning by the Kolpiti police over allegations of assaulting and causing minor injuries to former UPFA councillor Major Ajit Prasanna. It is said that an argument between the councillor and the two MPs, which took place opposite Temple Trees on the 1st of November, resulted in an altercation causing minor injuries to the councillor. The case will be taken up again on the 14th of February next year.
අපි කියනවා මේ මානසික රෝගීන් යොදවගෙන
If this illegal parliament is attempting to harass and imprison members of the UNP who refuse to be bought over for money by mentally ill individuals, this attempt was defeated through the independent judiciary system. This game will only continue for a few days more. All UNP members are working as one to restore the democratic rights of the people. We believe that this will be a good message to His Excellency the President. No, they did not. In fact, we were the ones who saved them when they were beaten by women. They have mistaken his name for another individual named Hesha.
The Japanese embassy in Sri Lanka, under the Grant Assistance for Grassroots and Human Security Projects, donated a fund of 97 million rupees to the Halo Trust, an NGO dedicated to the removal of landmines in the north of Sri Lanka.
The signing of the documents took place in the Japanese embassy in Colombo between the Japanese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Akira Sugiyama, and program officer Mike Dyer.
These teams work with the Sri Lankan army to find and destroy thousands of items of unexploded ordnance. This has been especially important in areas like the former high security zone in North Jaffna, where thousands of formerly displaced people continue to return. The impact of this work is tangible and sustainable. With peace firmly established, our work cannot be undone.
Most of the deminers hired for this project are from the said area and those who have been affected by the internal conflict. Moreover, there will be a considerable number of females and ex-LTTE combatants in the demining team, which contribute to local employment and reconciliation.
And finally, in sports news, Sri Lanka will take on England in the first test of a 3-match test series tomorrow. This will be the final test match played by one of the world's most successful left-arm bowlers, Rangana Herath.
I'd like to share the experience and the knowledge I gained from cricket with the new players. Only a very few were able to play for the national team at the age of 21. Even if I leave, I'm sure that there are valid reasons. Sri Lanka must have made a decision based on the squad, so I don't have any regrets. My parents have passed away, but I am here today because of their support. I'd also like to thank my wife and children.
That's all the news we have for you tonight. We leave you with an extract from the President's statement made at the Jana Mahime rally in Colombo today. I'm Chaturanga Paraji. Take care and have a good night.
Ranil Wickremesinghe's group is spreading many false statements to disrupt the good relationship I have with India. When the assassination plot on my life came to light, the statements I made at the cabinet with regard to its investigations have been falsified and they have been produced to foreign media secretly. Ranil Wickremesinghe and his group were trying to break the relationship we have with India. I have to state clearly, we received the doctrine of Buddhism from India. There are economic ties with India for over 1,000 years. There are cultural bonds. We have been following a friendly approach in terms of the foreign policy, and there is a non-allied foreign policy at the UN. I will always take steps to strengthen the Indian relationship.
මේ අවස්ථාවේ තමුන්නාන්සලාට කියන්නට ඕනේ.